Is back, ladies and gentlemen, which now means it's time to get your team's football shirt. But I'm not trying to pay £120 for a football shirt. I'm just saying, but I have found the solution for myself and for you, the lovely audience of the Don Husam channel, with your own coupon promo code. And this is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. All you've got to do is just go to okjersey.com. As you guys can see, all the options are there. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan, you guys already know. And then this is the shirt. Look how amazing it looks. I'm just going to go pick my size. And then after that, I'm going to choose the Premier League patch. And listen, I'm too old to be putting any player names on the back. So I'm just going to get it as it is. I'm going to click add to cart, view cart. And this is the same thing that you guys do on any website. You proceed to check out, you fill in all your information. And then after that, coupon code Husam. When you click this coupon code, you get a 8% discount. Enjoy shopping, guys. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream, ladies and gentlemen. Usually on the Friday nights we got the Liverpool show at 11, but we switched it up this week. Yet we are doing something different this week. We're doing the stream right here. Me and Grizz. Big up to you, Grizz. How are you doing? You good?
Alhamdulillah, man. Good. Walaikum salam, first and foremost.
Big up.
It's been a while. But if you was doing the Liverpool show today...
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, moved it back.
You didn't want me on the Liverpool show? No. I couldn't.
The Liverpool show is usually at 11 and it's like 5 panelists. Yeah. So I did it yesterday instead. So I moved it back. Yeah. I'm giving you main event by yourself.
Yeah. Uncle can't do 11 p.m. Thank you very much. Shukran. Thank you. Yeah. Uncle can't do 11 p.m. anymore. Yeah.
It's been a lot since we last spoke. You know, now they call me Top Red Husam. It's crazy. So
okay. Yeah. Oh yes, Top Red.
You heard what I said on the Civil War stream. You heard I was backing.
I was sat there. I was sat there smiling inside. I was thinking, Allahu Akbar. 4 years ago, and now. Alhamdulillah. Allah works in a mysterious way, man. Trust me. People need to believe.
Wallah, they call me Top Red Husam now. It's crazy. We've come a long way. But hey, I've got no reason to criticize the ownership now. We've spent a whole lot of money. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy with the summer that we have. But regardless, listen, big up to all of you. There's already 150 people in the building. We haven't even started the stream yet. So hit that like button, subscribe. Do check out our sponsors, OK Jersey. Go get yourself a Liverpool shirt. Use code Husam for 8% off. And yeah. Grizz, let's just start with Liverpool straight away. You get me? Top Reds come together today. How do you feel about Liverpool Football Club right now? Let's start with feelings first.
Feeling. You know me for about 5 years now, I think, maybe something like that. And you know I'm generally a calm guy anyway. I don't do extremes. We don't advocate extremism of any form, in any way, shape or form, society, life, religion, football, anything. So I don't go extremely mad when we're winning and happy and shout from the rooftops, and I don't go extremely down when we're not doing so great. Right now, though, I have to admit I'm a little bit confused, Husam. Probably that's the best adjective I can use right now. Instead of disappointed, sad, angry, whatever, I'm a little bit confused, bro. That's my description of how I feel.
Is this supposed to be happening to Liverpool right now? These results, these games, these fixtures, what's happening to our team? This isn't supposed to happen. That's why you're feeling a little bit confused, as you said, because this is just not meant to happen right now. Like, no one's entitled to win, but at the same time, you don't expect your team to lose to lose the way that we did, specifically after the summer we had. I think that's where people's disappointments are coming from. So how do you look at Liverpool's start to the season so far?
Again, confusing. A record of either winning or losing is quite insane. We have no draws. The mad irony of it all is if you add a couple of 2 or 3 boring draws in there, and we're very comfortable. We're sitting very nice and cozy and rosy with a lot of hard fixtures out of the way. Believe me, And I know
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear it at the moment. Nobody wants to know about it at the moment. But we have had a very, very difficult fixture list. But no one in our right mind, top red, bottom red, whatever you want to call a red, no one can anticipate, justify 5 defeats. Is it five? 4 defeats in the 4 defeats in the
5 in the
Premier.
Prem. Yeah, 5
Five
in
in
the
the
Prem.
5 defeats in the
After
Premier.
City became 5, akhi.
5 defeats in the row. 5 defeats out of 6 or whatever the record is. Or I lost count. I know I get reminded of every day, every night, but it's not acceptable, brother. It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. I know we're gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna go down the aspect of because we spent the money. No, Liverpool Football Club can't be losing 5 Premier League games out of 11. At any stage, at any level, doesn't matter. Investment, no investment. Even in our worst era, I don't think Roy Hodgson lost 5 out of 6. Someone correct me in the chat if that was the case.
I don't think Hodgson ever did. Hodgson didn't lose 5 and 6.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think anyone has that record. The only record that probably under threat is the Jurgen Klopp in the COVID season record. There was a barren spell of about 6-7 games, I'd say. Someone remind me of the exact record in the COVID season under Klopp. But that's the only one that's
Oh, I think when you're talking about like when we went with 6 games without a win at Anfield, I think it was.
Anfield. Oh,
yeah, that was 6 games without a win at Anfield. People keep saying 6 games lost at Anfield, but is it 6 games lost? Because wasn't there a couple of draws in there, 1-1 draws and stuff? Someone let us know of the. I know the record he's talking about as well, but that's the thing. Look, the money aspect, of course, I agree with you in terms of like, of course, it's not acceptable for Liverpool Football Club generally to lose 5 games at 11. This is true, but the money only adds further pressure.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like the money just makes it extra pressure. The money makes it like, oh, these guys spent this much money and they've lost 5 games in 11. Like it's basically extra bit of pressure. It's more pressure on the football club. Like it doesn't help. Basically, let's put it that way. It doesn't help how much we've spent this summer because it piles on. It piles on by our own fans. It piles on by the rivals. It piles on in terms of just general football talk because. To be fair, look, we probably did this even to other clubs. So it's not just us. Like, we've done this to everyone. Like, how many times have me or you said, oh, Chelsea spent 1.5 billion and blah, 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 blah. And, Man United have spent this much. And so I think spend has probably been part of football conversations for a while now. Why is everyone calling you Gary? Is the Neville thing?
No, the Gary was... For the first time in a long time, I actually got baited by the Big Six. They try every week, They try to get a clip of me, like they've all been clipped up every other day and, slaughtered. Well, they managed to... Saeed managed to rage bait me into saying because I was so sure Man United are not beating us. I said, if Manchester United beat us at Anfield, I am no longer Grizz Khan, I am Gary Khan. I will change my name to Gary. And since then, everyone has been calling me Gary. But this is what Liverpool does to you. This is what losing to Manchester United at home does to me. And then people have, you won't know about this, but there's a program, very famous English program called Only Fools and Horses. And there's a funny character called Gary in there. So that's why then Steve done the impression of Gary, Gary. And everyone's calling me Gary everywhere I go now. So yeah, thank you, Liverpool. And thank you, Saeed.
After betting my hair on Bellingham, I'm no longer betting anymore. Anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone in the chat before
you was like clip of the week on stage.
Clip of the season. There were 2,500 people in here watching me shave my hair, bro.
No, weekly basis. You was like weekly. I don't get clickbaited because I tend not to say things that are so crazy that come back to haunt me. But it wasn't even that crazy. But yeah, Gary. Gary. But now going back to your thing, man. Do you know what it is? It's not after the Lord Mayor's show. It's relevant. I said it at the time. I said, Liverpool fans, stop celebrating winning the transfer window because we have seen Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, but they've won stuff. So many teams, Aston Villa. Who else has spent money in the last 4 or 5 seasons? All of these clubs spend much more than us on the cumulative. The fact that we spent it in one window and the fact that people are forgetting is because we had to rebuild our whole squad, pretty much 6 to 7 players out, 6, 7 players in. People were celebrating winning a transfer window. I said, don't celebrate winning transfer windows. We need to see success on the back of this. That's the sad and frustrating bit. And the confusion we'll get into, but there's a lot of confusion in my head right now in terms of the recruitment and how we went about it and what kind of players went out and what we replaced them with and what was the strategy. And I've got a few theories in my own head, but we'll discuss it.
What are the theories? Tell me. I'm intrigued now. In terms of recruitment?
In terms of the whole planning, yeah. I've been thinking, man, like you said, what's gone wrong? What happened? What happened to us? We just spent 400 million, bought the best striker, the best second striker, the best 10 attacking fullbacks, players of the season in their respective leagues in terms of team of the season.
Yeah.
What went wrong? And I've been thinking, and obviously when things go wrong, you look for blame. And obviously at the moment, flavor of the month is Arne Slot. But I think me and you have spoken many times and you know my answers. When things are going well, it's a collective and a cumulative decision and situation. That's why it's going well. And same when things are going bad. To pinpoint one entity, it's wrong. It's straight wrong. It's straight wrong.
Why didn't you want to get involved in the whole slot out, slot in thing on the video you were? Explain to me why, though.
Because
and don't give me political Grizz answer like, oh, I'm too old for this. Tell me honestly why.
It is political. It is political. It is political. How can you have 8, 9 individuals, right, that have their own opinions, own agendas, own narratives, own brains? You never, it's not a debate to convince anyone. Like everyone is entitled to say what they want, how they want. I can't participate in those kind of debates anymore, because whatever you say will be construed at possibly a dig, because you got to remember, I came on to defend my people saying I'm policing opinions. So then I can't go into an opinion debate and force my opinion on others, because I came to say, you can support what you want, how you want, say what you want. I just think at the moment, slot out is a debate for sure. But to say it with certainty and so much gusto, it's not evidence-based, it's not factual-based. It's just frustration, anger, disappointment-based. And that shouldn't be a decision. That shouldn't be the emotions that you use to make a decision as big as this would be. You have to use much more than anger, frustration, disappointment to make a decision like sack the Liverpool manager 3 months after saying, Arne Slot, la, la, na, na, na. It defies all, in my opinion, logic.
So how would you distribute blame across this team? Because my conclusion personally is still slot in. I'm not slot out. Like I'm still backing Arne Slot, but I do think that he is probably mainly at fault in terms of like system and style and structure, maybe the way that we set up. Because you've been watching football for a long time. When 10 outfield players all look like crap, it's very, you can't like, you don't know something. It was very interesting because I had this conversation and Man United fans hated their players. I don't feel that way towards the players. I like them. I don't hate any of these players. These players, like, other than the new ones, all like were basically responsible for number 20. So I don't really hate any of these players. Like, I don't sit here and think this guy has to go and that guy has to go and this guy has to go. Like, you know how when you spoke to Man United fans from 2 years ago, like they wanted half their team gone, basically. I don't feel this way. I really like a lot of these players. I don't dislike.
The situation and the contrast couldn't be more black and white. It's different. They've been on a downward spiral for 6, 7 years, getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We are going through an absolute nightmare and crisis of a month. So we can't shit on our players suddenly. They've just walked through the door, 5 of them, 6 of them, whatever, 4, 5, 6 of them. They've just walked through the door. B, 5, 6 have gone that some we loved, some we adored, and some we were indifferent to. Nunes, the Trent situation was a bit confusing, right? So we have to give them time. And of course, like you said, the rest we love. And the reason why we love them, whether we rate them or don't, is they fucking won us the league. Walked the league. We had it won in February, March. I don't care what anyone says. We had it won in February. Amongst Arsenal, amongst City, amongst Chelsea, United, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we can't suddenly flip-flop within the matter of months just because they're all dog shit, playing like dog shit at the moment, because they can't all be dog shit, because they literally 3 months ago, and they're not at that age where Fabinho fell off, Gini fell off, Henderson fell off, Milner fell off, Naby Keita fell off. All their legs went in 6 months. We saw it visibly and physically. These are not at that stage. At the moment, it's a collective issue, Husam. From the recruitment, from the planning, from the coaching. It's a collective disaster at the moment. But I've said many times, it's very, very much, in my opinion, and we'll get into it again, short-term gain, short-term loss, short-term pain for long-term gain. And I truly believe that.
How would you distribute blame across Liverpool Football Club right now? What
In
would
a
be
nutshell,
like your percentage?
in a basic nutshell, I'll tell you my thoughts, right? I was going to do a video on it on my own channel as well, and I will do it. But in a nutshell, I think we had a window. I think we planned. I think our incomings were post-Salah thoughts. And we didn't take into consideration present Salah enough. I think the tragic loss of Jota kind of forced our hand with the Ekitike purchase instead of a wide winger, because I think we wouldn't have bought Ekitike if Jota didn't pass away. Isak was always our number 1 target from last year. So that was always going to happen eventually. But I think Ekitike conundrum and the not replacing Lucho and not being forceful enough in terms of the Gahey situation before it got to the last minute, I think that as a collective, we normally think ahead. I think we went a bit too far and thought a season 2 ahead. I don't think we planned for this current season. That's my opinion.
So how would you distribute the cross recruitment, players, manager? Well, what would be your distribution?
It's difficult to say without knowing who made the actual calls, because so many people are questioning, are these slots players? No, they're not slots players. These are Edwards and Hughes recommendations via the scouting analytical team. And then slot
Which is what we wanted, to be fair, all of us.
Yeah, 100%. That's how it works. All the major clubs, the big clubs of the modern era work like that. But then that's why I've got the sympathy of Slot, or with Slot. But no doubt, he has to make it work. That's his job. He's the coach. Yeah. He has to make it work. He didn't say no to any of these players, as far as we know. Maybe Chiesa. But no, it has to be. Maybe Chiesa was the only one that he said no to, and they didn't. So he said, okay, I'll teach you. Amigo, I'll teach you. But I don't think the rest of them are bad players in any way, shape, or form. I just think the formation with the Kirkes, with the Frimpongs, with the Verts, with the Isak and the Ekitike, I think this was a vision of what season will be next season, 2026, 27.
26, 27.
I don't think we thought enough about 25, 26 and the repercussions.
Thing is, like, for me, I look at this team right now, and I do think that Slot do need to pick up results, though. There is one thing that you said at the end, and I referred to it on the video that we were together on Wednesday, where I said, at some point in time, it's going to have to be a business decision as well, because the likes of Verts, Isak, etc., can become depreciating assets. And if they are depreciating assets, then the club will make a decision to move on. That's the reality of the situation. So we can say, like, I am slotting, and I do back Arne Slot, and I think he will turn it around. And I think we will start picking up results, and the performances will get better this season. But when I say everyone has a cutoff point, look, our next 3 games as an example are Forest, PSV, and West Ham. Not just winnable games, must-win games as well. Like, that's on paper, we should be absolutely slapping all 3 teams. If some way, somehow, let's say the next 3 games, we end up losing all 3 games, I think you'll find it very difficult for people to still back Arne as an example, because then it becomes untenable. Then you're like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, we're 13th in the league, we're 12th in the league.
No. There's no look. Let's before people start thinking, like you said, the word
that
you
it's
used,
blind faith, basically.
no. The word you used was untenable. That is untenable. There is no chance if he loses the next 3 that he survives.
I agree with that.
There's no chance he survives.
By the way, I'm talking from the club, not even fans.
No. Forget the fans. Forget the fans are gone. Fans are gone. You won't get any top red defending that. You may get some, but the club, like you said, that's impossible. But that's why I'm confident that it wonon't happen, inshallah. But
inshallah as well. I'm not trying to lose again.
No, always inshallah. But the away games scare me. Every away game scares me at the moment, because we have become what I hated and what I used to banter Arsenal all my life for growing up. I bantered Arsenal for being the softest team, easiest to bully. Every away game, everyone knew how to beat Arsenal, from Bolton to Barnsley to Burnley to Norwich. Anyone and everyone knew how to beat Arsenal, especially at their own ground in terms of the away team. Arsenal being away, you just bully them. And right now, it's the most simplest formula. Hurl long throws, set pieces, corners, bully us, win our duels, outrun them, and you'll beat Liverpool. And that's embarrassing right now. That is embarrassing.
It is because it never used to be that way as well. Like, probably Klopp era onwards, and even Slot last season, it never used to be that way. My thing is, like, as much as I hold the manager accountable to where we're at right now, I hold the belief that he will turn it around. And it's not just based on like copium and hopium, blah, blah, blah. Like, you look at what he did against Real Madrid as an example, and there is no way that the same manager that conceded one big chance against Real Madrid and Aston Villa all of a sudden just becomes like basically tactically inept and doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I refuse to believe that. You know, I think that Slot is still capable. Some of the decisions shock me, like the decision to high press Manchester City, just unnecessary decision for no reason whatsoever. I think probably pre-game, when we were speaking on different shows and stuff, we said, okay, against Manchester City, I expect us to be a bit more defensive, kind of what we did against Madrid, you know, maybe leave Salah and Ekitike at halfway line, try to counter-attack, stuff like this, but for the most part, be defensive. And he shocked me with his approach from the beginning, in a bad way, and we ended up losing the game. So I understand people's frustrations, but I haven't seen. I'm not at the stage yet where I want to. I want to turn on the manager, because I always say with the managerial thing, what you said is true. Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion at the end of the day. We can't control people, but for me, it's a feeling more than anything else. Do I feel like Slot can take us forward at this moment in time? My answer is still yes. I don't think that Slot won't take us forward and we're going to fail and we're shit. And blah, blah, blah. I don't think that way. I do think that with slight tweaks here and there, he is capable of actually turning us around, and he's shown it this season. And I feel like people are changing a lot of narratives as well. Like, oh, all the performances are bad. No, they weren't. We were very good against Bournemouth. We were very good against Arsenal, very good against Everton, Atletico, Real, Aston Villa. So we've had good games this season. Where Arne Slot did do something like Arsenal at home, he brought on Curtis Jones, changed the game like that. Substitution. Changed the game. Changed the way we played the game. Bournemouth, at the beginning of the season, people were like, oh, Bournemouth are an easy fixture. And then as the season progressed, everyone was like, shit, Bournemouth is actually difficult. Beating Bournemouth 4-2 ain't easy. So
Bournemouth are a super team right now, and we beat them. Aston Villa, the previous week, beat Man City. They're a super team. Aston Villa's run recently has been brilliant. Real Madrid came into the form of their season. Not in the form of their season, but one defeat all season. Arsenal were the team at the time when we beat them. No one even gave us a chance. Of course, they gave us a chance. It's at Anfield. But our performance was solid. We restricted them to 0.2 expected goals. We
stopped all their corners and set pieces as well, which is the main weapon for them.
We were dominant. So many games we have been. But you're right. Narratives and agendas, whether you're in or out, always come to the fore, And that's why I try to just, look, everyone can say what they want, how they want, but
Well,
sometimes
you're gonna have to discuss it, Grizz. You know this. You're gonna have to discuss it at some point in time.
no, of course you do. You do have to discuss it. But
Like, forget long term, right? Forget even 3 games. Let's say we lose to Forest, God forbid, 1-0. What do you think is gonna happen post game? Let's be objective about this. Like,
and
Forest rock up to Anfield, they win 1-0. We're fucked then.
if Sean Dyche turns up at Anfield and beats Liverpool, then there is a problem that there's a serious problem. I didn't see it. I didn't envisage it, and I'll take off one glove. There'll only be one boxing glove left to defend him with. At the moment, I've got 2 gloves on and a head guard, but it will have to be. You have to be realistic, and this is how football changes. It can just change just like that, because then the question mark will come: are these players? Because I've seen a lot of people saying, are they playing for him? That if we lose to Forest at home after the international break, then there is questions. There is questions, and I'm not even. Of course, it may depend on the performance. Like if we batter them and the keeper makes 16 saves and we hit the crossbar
They
twice,
score 1 goal on the counter, yeah.
and they score 1 set piece goal, then even though I'm dead inside because we lost, I won't be angry about the sacking situation, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense to you? So I won't be fuming about Slot because he coached a 3-4-0 win. If Ekitike misses and Salah crossbar and misses a penalty. So it does depend. You have to have context. You have to see how the game pans out. But if it's a frustrating, can't break them down, they have chances galore, but then they take one glove is off, and all the people that will say, I told you so, will have more reasons to say, we told you so. But it's interesting, that panel, I was sitting there, yeah? And no, this is no dig before people make reaction videos to videos. In fact, you can do what you want. I've never given a shit, and I don't give a shit. I have rhino skin by now over the years. Absolute rhino skin. But Husam, I was looking at the panel and I recognized a few guys. For example, that Mike guy used to come on my call-in show when I used to do it many years ago. And I remembered it all came flooding back. That Ends TV used to come on my call-in. Ends Man or Ends TV used to come on my call-in show. Who else was there? There was a couple of other guys that I remembered. Oh, and you know what I remembered them for? And I know them now and I speak to them and big up. They all got their own platforms and they're doing bits. But I just remember them being Klopp out, FSG out, at some stages Salah out, Virgil's out, everything out. And then we won 2 leagues and the Champions League, and then we spent 400 million. So the ownership model couldn't argue anymore. We don't spend money, we have spent money. Salah gave it the best season of his life. Virgil became one of the players of the season and won us the league. So there was no agendas or no narratives to build up again. 3 months into the season, 2 months of the season, same characters are now have built up a character of, another case for someone else out. Regardless, whether it's a player out, manager out, ownership out. It's not always about out. That doesn't have real life or real clubs. I'm sorry to break it to you. And if I'm sounding disingenuous, yes. Because that's not how real life works in any business, any sport of the highest level. It just doesn't happen like that. There's much more nuances than everything out, and that will get better. Because imagine if we did get rid of Salah. Imagine we did get rid of Virgil van Dijk. Imagine we did get rid of Klopp. Imagine we did get rid of FSG. We would have seen Man City winning 10 league titles in a row. Not 2 in the last 5 years that we've won. 2 out of the last 5. And a Champions League. So 3 major honors in 5 years. Major honors. Only Manchester City can talk to us. Literally only Manchester City can talk to us. So it's not always about, I'm not saying it's a knee-jerk reaction, because obviously if it's progressing for another month, 6 weeks, it's not knee-jerk. There's something seriously wrong. But at the moment, sacking Slot would be premature.
Yeah, listen. I want to address it in a second. Big up to Javid, who says donut formation doesn't work, but he's too arrogant to change. Arrogance is the blood of Dutch managers. Erik ten Hag, Louis van Gaal, Koeman, Gus Hiddink. The one time I felt he was arrogant is when he decided to high press Man City. That's the first time probably I said Slot is arrogant, because I think it was like the Manchester City are the best team in the planet at playing out from the back, because they've been doing it for the last 10 years. I think pressing them was pointless in my opinion. That's really the only time where I felt like Slot was arrogant. But I do hope that he does change it for the good. Big up to Big Bob, who says 6 players in, 11 players out. Here's the thing though, with the players out thing, it's like, look, Nunes we all wanted sold. Diaz, I wanted him to stay over Gakpo. When actually I was asking this summer, like, would you rather keep Diaz or keep Gakpo? I did say keep Diaz. But from a club perspective, of course, age, blah, 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 it makes sense. Tsimikas I liked, but we got a new left back, so he was never going to stay. Trent, once again, we know what happened in that situation.
Sam, it doesn't matter whether we liked them or they were useful or they were good or whatever.
The fact is they left, basically.
The fact that is, how many times have we spoke about, not we, because we're not at that level, but players and managers and coaches and pundits talk about chemistry, bonding, team, squad, moods, relationships. How many times have we heard that at the highest level? It's not about individual players like Tsimikas not being good enough for Liverpool. No, he wasn't good enough for Liverpool. Nunes wasn't good enough for Liverpool. From what we wanted to aspire to, the levels we want to reach.
Yeah, Nunes wasn't good enough. We know this. Yeah,
but all these things, all these players that were part of the fabric, there's so many nuances behind the scenes, relationships, personal relationships with players, understanding with players that are, you got to remember, finished now. So now there's 6 players, 11 players out, is a huge turnover of players. You may not understand it, and that's and you take your frustration out on me and say, oh, he's waffling or he's defending the club. But that's exactly, literally my job, what I do. I speak on my club, which I support and I love, and I will defend it at every opportunity. So that's where the defense comes from. When you have that much of turnover of player, and people will say, oh, but Sunderland brought in 17 players and blah, blah, they're doing fine. Brighton do all the time. Yeah, Sunderland will eventually finish 12th, 13th. Brighton will eventually finish 10th, whatever. That's fine. The reason why we're getting lambasted from left to right is because we're expected to win the league.
Yeah.
So when our standards drop, when we don't finish, for example, like God forbid, if we don't finish top 4, then you can have that conversation. But right now, and I'm not saying that's our target, what I'm saying is our fall off is much more exaggerated and highlighted than anyone else because we are Liverpool Football Club and our standards are totally, totally different. At the very highest level is fine margins, a relationship, an understanding of a teammate, mood, even relationships on and off the pitch. Like at the moment, Kerkez and Gakpo have no relationship, it seems, on or off the pitch. He has no idea how to play with him and vice versa. At the moment, Virgil van Dijk looks so confused next to Kerkez. Ekatike looks a bit, confused. He started off really well, obviously. Frimpong being in and out of the team. And Wirtz, he's still getting to know. He's trying passes that some are not reading yet. But give it another few months. These wall passes, they'll come to fruition. He'll know where to make the 1-2, when not to take a risk, when to take a risk. Unfortunately, it's mad frustrating and we're angry at the moment. But even Slot needs time. Doesn't matter what he's done in the past, he needs time. And one last thing on this segment, Slot is a very, very new manager, relatively speaking. He's a very young, inexperienced coach, relatively speaking, at this level, because this is the big boys level. This is big boys league. And he has to learn, and he's going to learn quick. And if he doesn't, he'll lose his job. It's very simple as that. But
yeah, this is the thing.
AZ to Feyenoord
to Liverpool.
It's ridiculous jumps. So he's got to learn, and he's learning. I don't think he's arrogant. I think he talks like a typical, shouldn't generalize everyone, but typical Dutch people in the media and sports and industry where they speak their mind. I think he talks and explains too much. But again, I think he's going to learn. I think he's going to learn that this media is fuckery. You talk too much, they will remember everything you fucking said and take.
I have an unpopular opinion on that. I actually don't care what Slot says in the media. And I actually said, I pointed this out on Wednesday. I feel like once again we go back to the changing, and then I'll say it after this. Let me just read this one. For me, it ain't reactionary knee jerk because I was slot out after Real Madrid, and I was never club out despite 22-23. It's a loss in trust thing. Look, like for me, my opinion on the slot thing is I'm a lot more I'm lenient. Like I understand why people are saying it, but me personally, I'm not slot out because I still believe in the manager. I haven't lost the trust. If you've lost the trust, fair enough, and you're entitled to voice that opinion. But I just don't feel it right now. I still trust Arne Slot. I still think he can turn it around, and I still think we will turn it around. Listen, next 9 games, all winnable fixtures. Hopefully, we start getting some wins on the board. We start getting some consistently good performances because that's what matters at the end of the day. Red Line Taranga, and I know I can vouch for you as well. You were never club out, so this is true. Big up to Red Line, big up to Big Bob and Javid, big up to everyone locked in. 500 people are in the building. Appreciate you even during this international break. So please hit the like button, subscribe. Look, here's the thing with the slot thing, and I actually said this on the big up Mike, and I actually said this on the on the show as well. I was like, the reason why I don't take press conference.
Mike, if you are here, and I'll people saying, why didn't you say it to his face? So I'll say again, you've been on my call show. It's no problem personally, whatever, no problem at all. But am I wrong in factually what I said? You was all those situations. I remember doing a call-in show, and the season was 3 weeks in, and he's like, I don't anticipate anything from Liverpool. I don't expect anything from Liverpool. We're not going to win. We won the league. So, you say Slot hasn't got no credit in the bank. What credit have you got, Mike? What credit have you got in the bank for me to go with your narrative and your opinion? Tell me. Damn. You wanted FSG, you wanted Klopp, you wanted Salah finished. You said so many things on the call-in shows. I remember you was a regular call-in. Big up yourself. I know you have eyes, but they didn't work last year or the year before.
Look, here's my thing with this Slot thing, the press conference part. I don't care what he says in the press conferences because I heard Klopp blame Man United substitutions as to why we didn't beat Man United at Old Trafford. I've heard him blame the 12:30 kickoff. I've heard him blame the ball. I've heard him blame the wind. I think people now, just because we're losing games, they're looking too much at what Slot is saying in the media. To be honest, I don't care what Slot says in the media. I legitimately don't give a shit. Because managers waffle in press conferences since the beginning of time. Benitez did it, like Wenger did it, Mourinho did it, everyone waffles. In terms of players, though, I do want to ask you about one thing. How do you feel about Mo currently? Because there is obviously existential conversations about Mo as things stand. People. It's funny because it's the same people that say the system is shit, but let's get rid of Mo. That's the thing I argued this 3 days ago, and there was no real response to it. But how do you feel about Mo right now in terms of his performances out there on the football pitch? Because that's the player that most people are pointing out right now.
I've got after all the normal boring political answers, my opinion on Salah is so controversial to some,
What?
Not to
Please
all.
Don't say what I think you'll say.
I have to say what I think, man.
Tell me.
I have to say what I think. And it's no shame, it's no nothing. He's, for me, in the top 2/3 greatest Premier League players eventually when he finishes. Never mind Liverpool players of all time. So I don't need to speak on his glory and on his everything that he's done. Why did you do that? Why are you doing this? This is building up to something. This is just an opinion. You don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. But yeah, there comes a point and time in every legend's career, man. We saw it, man, with the great Bobby Firmino, the great Sadio Mane, the great Gini Wijnaldum, or in our history, and we've seen it in Kevin De Bruyne. We've seen it in so many other players that we can mention. Yaya Toure near the end as well became an absolute joke figure. It's just Mohamed Salah won't ever, of course, he won't ever reach those levels that he reached, and that's fine. That's normal. And I think, and I had this conversation with so many people on my channel as well, and deep conversations with people and stats and people that behind the scenes, and say that this is why the analytical team at Liverpool are heralded as some of the best in Europe, because we foresaw Gini's fall off. We foresaw all the others fall off. Henderson's, Naby's, things, all the ones that we refused to give new contracts to, but Klopp overturned them. This is why we took so long in agreeing to give him the new contract that he deserves, because we foresaw a fall off, probably. Now, falling off from 42 goals and assists to 30, alhamdulillah, is still good for normal human beings. But Mohamed Salah is not a normal footballer. He's an exceptional, elite footballer. But I think that the time is nigh. The time is nigh on Mohamed Salah. And hopefully he comes around and still gets his, as I said, in his worst seasons, what was it? 20 goals, I think his worst season, 17, 18 or something like that, 20 in worst season. If he reaches though, alhamdulillah, I'll be absolutely overjoyed. But in the general scheme of things, it's the last season of Mohamed Salah. Enjoy.
Do you feel the same way about Van Dijk as well?
Depending on our recruitment in the next 2 transfer windows.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying you think there's a world where it's the last season for Van Dijk too?
No, but that's just my opinion. I think from a club point of view, for Mohamed Salah, yes. But from Virgil, no. But you're asking me as a player, aren't you? I don't think you're asking me as a...
No, I'm saying, like, do you think this is Van Dijk's last season and Salah's last season, or just Salah's last season?
Salah's at Liverpool.
Look, here's my opinion on this thing, okay? I'm going to tell you my opinion. I think if we're calling out the structure and the style and the system, in my opinion, by definition, it makes all players look bad. Because Van Dijk, I would say, probably objectively has performed worse than Mo in the games that we've lost, like his last 2 games, like Brentford conceded a penalty, we conceded 3 goals, Manchester City conceded 3 goals, put up the stinky leg. Thing is, for me, is I hold the same opinion for all of them. Whether they're the ones that I like or dislike, whether it's Bradley, whether it's Mo, whether it's Virgil, whichever one it is. For me, I look at the Manchester City game. We conceded 3 goals, and people are speaking post-game about the right winger. Same thing with the Brentford game. We conceded 3 goals. People are speaking about Salah. Salah actually scored a banger in that game. Yesterday, I went through the stats. This guy's fucking mental, bro. Most goals for Liverpool this season, Salah. Most assists, Salah. Most chances created, Salah. Most big chances created, Salah. And I'm just sat here going like, how is this still possible? My thing is, look, the games that we won this season, forget all the previous years, our best performances, other than Frankfurt. Everton, Atletico Madrid, Aston Villa, Real Madrid. In all 4 games, Salah was good, but that's because the system was good and the style was good. I'm not at the level where I think Salah is finished or washed yet. I still think Salah can play for Liverpool Football Club. I just think it's more of a systematic thing, if anything, because the games that the system has actually been really good, he's looked really good as well. That's my thing. Like he looked really good against Madrid, really good against Villa, really good against Everton. Everton, he had the assist for the Gravenberg goal. Atletico as well, same thing as well. And I think people, you want to know something? There's Grizz saying it for me is different. I'll tell you why. But it's not because he's a guest. Grizz knows I'm the last person to kiss the guest ass. The reason why I say Grizz can say it is because Grizz is slot in. So if Grizz is slot in, he holds players accountable because he's not saying the manager should leave yet. That's my thing. Because my logic is, if I'm looking at the manager and saying, the manager has to go, he's shit, he's holding us back, the system doesn't work, the style doesn't work. At the same time, I can't be blaming individuals just by definition because you're saying that the style and the system doesn't work. I look at Mo and I still think he could contribute to us, and he's contributed to us this season. If we fix the way that we play football, if we put the players out there on the pitch in a position to succeed and he still looks like crap, that's when I will be like, we have to move on. Meaning, let's say the next 5 games, Liverpool, we play in a certain style, we perform really well, Salah is missing chances, Salah is holding us back, I'll say it, no problem. But my issue is, I just think the issue is systematic right now. Like the City game, let's use that because it's the easiest one. We're asking Salah to do stuff that Salah didn't do even in his heyday. We made Salah the only outlet of the game, and we're basically asking him, go ahead, dribble past Nico O'Reilly every single time. But that's not his game, though. Like, his game is not about dribble past player and blah, blah, blah. He can do it every now and then, but that's not his game. I think we need to get him closer to goal, which is what Slot himself did last season. So my thing is, fix the system and style. He still looks like crap, move him on.
It's not about, do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Like, when people say washed and whatever, I was very, very, very wrong about Virgil last year. You know, you always have to be humble enough to admit your errors and mistakes and things that you say and shit that you speak, and people call you out for it, rightly so. Because I didn't think Virgil would reach the levels he reached last season. So I said something similar about what I'm saying about Mo, about Virgil last year. So that slapped me in the face. But then I also have to pat myself and the people that said it. I saw the Mane fall off. I saw the Bobby Firmino fall off. I saw the Ginny Henderson. I said it at the time and people didn't agree and disagree. We used to do a show on Sundays, Red Fellas. I used to speak about it all the time. I said they've fallen off. Fabinho was the one I saw 6 months before he fell off. I said Fabinho is finished, and Fabinho has been the best DM in our recent history. So for me to say something like that, you know, I'm not a reactionary out guy. Sell him.
Yeah.
You know me, I try to defend first and then move from there. I'm like Arteta. But with Mohamed Salah, this is where I've got sympathy with Slot. Because like I said to you, I think the recruitment is literally post-Salah thought thinking. Like, I believe, in my opinion, all of the above, I think the future will be Wirtz behind Isak and Ekitike, with Kerkez and Frimpong, the wing, the attacks coming from the wing. That's what the future is. There's no Mohamed Salah in that future of Liverpool Football Club. And we have to accept that as a fan base. And even the most ardent Salah lovers, like I claim to be, and I know you are, because I'm a Salah lover. So,
Same.
but there's no future in that formation unless Salah and Ekitike and Isak, Salah, Ekitike, and the combination of the three strikers happens. I don't think we will play this 4-3-3 or whatever formation we play at the moment. I don't think there's any formation that people can pinpoint us to, but I think the future will be 4 diamond 2.
I agree with that, actually. I also think that this will be Salah's last season, but not because he's washed. I just think he'll probably want to move to Saudi this summer.
I don't think he wants to move to Saudi at all.
Really?
At all, yeah.
What do you think then?
I don't think he wants to move. I think
he wants to stay.
Oh, yeah. Salah loves Liverpool. Salah loves Liverpool. The people, his daughters love it. His family love it. He's so settled. I don't think he wants to go to Saudi. But decisions have to be made, and he will get huge offers. And I think, how shall I put this? I think he will be. You can't encourage someone like Mohamed Salah to make any decision. He decides what he wants and what he does. But I think he may be slightly encouraged by Liverpool and everything. Like, we are happy to move you on. But let's see. Listen, football is a humbler. So Mohamed Salah, nothing would make me more humble than Mohamed Salah turning it around, winning us, or doesn't even forget winning it, turning his own performances and output and staying. But I think genuinely, if we get a reasonable offer of 70, 80 million.
Yeah, but that's why I said Saudi, because I think we probably get the most money from Saudi.
For sure. I think MLS may be an option for him as well. It's not necessarily
could be MLS, yeah. Could be MLS as well.
There's a team that's owned by an Egyptian. And they made a very huge offer. They in fact said, name your price to him and the club. But he refused. Google it for me, someone. There's a Egyptian.
San Diego FC.
San Diego made.
Owned by British Egyptian entrepreneur Mohammed Mansour.
So there's not many people that know, but he personally called Salah's people in Russia, said, name your price, blah, blah. When the contract negotiations were happening, whatever. And Mohamed Salah said, not right now. So there is people out there that would die for Mohamed Salah at their football club. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion it's Saudi, but obviously that's where the money is at, etc., etc. That's from a personal point. But look, when
they were even offering him TV rights, I think, in the last
everything,
time.
everything. But Mohamed Salah might feel it himself. Sometimes he's a very honest guy, and his levels of what's the word? His own levels,
like consistency.
No. His own expectancy of what he thinks and believes is there. So if he doesn't feel it, then he may make the call. And if at the end of the season he doesn't feel it, and the emotional damage, and people have mentioned about the Diogo Jota, and absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Before people say, "Oh, you're being cold-blooded about the situation with Jota," trust me, I'm not. I'm taking that into consideration because that's huge. No human can equate until you've been in those shoes. No human. If you lose a loved one, and it's like a family member, in fact, you see him more than your family sometimes because you see him every single day. You may not see your brother
Training, everything, yep.
every day. You may not see your brother and sister every day, but you see this guy near enough every day. That's huge on the player. And Mohamed Salah, we saw how emotional he was. We saw how he reacted on that opening day when he scored that goal. It made me cry. Watching Mohamed Salah cry made me cry. And I was thinking, wow, I'm watching someone cry over someone. Imagine how that person feels that he's crying over someone. Imagine
I
how
think he's probably the most affected one in the squad by it as well.
100%. So I'm taking all these into consideration, not only his performances, but his just think my time is up at Liverpool. I've lost an absolute loved one here. My manager's gone with Jurgen Klopp. My teammates are all changed now because that will only leave Virgil and Alisson from the old school. Because Robertson's last season as well. That'll leave only Ali and Virgil from that era.
They're speaking about Robertson new contract. You think he gets it or nah?
No. I think Robertson won't get a new deal.
I agree. I don't think he gets it.
I think when Edwards came back, I think it
changes now.
I think it was a PR thing to make sure, people can say what they want, but I think there was no way we could let 2 out of 3 go. No way. So we had to sign Salah and Virgil. But in my opinion, if it was solely down to Edwards and Co, they wouldn't have given Salah the contract.
Oh, fair enough. Thing is, like, I understand your perspective. I just disagree with it. I'm not willing to let go yet. I'm not. I still think there is a player there. I have to back my boy. But to be fair, I use that logic even for Connor Bradley. I just don't think it's like my issue. Okay, this is my issue with this conversation. My issue is people who scapegoat him. Like, we just went away to the Etihad, lost 3-0, and the first person you point out is like, oh, Salah, speak about Salah. Habibi, we just lost 3-0. What are you talking about? Like, that's the thing. But, at the end of the day, it could be his last season. I do believe it's a possibility. I do believe it's also a possibility it's Van Dijk's last season. I don't deny that possibility either. I think both of them probably might be the last year. With Alisson, it's different because he's a keeper. With keepers, like, this, like, fucking Buffon retired 2 years ago. Like, some goalkeepers play for a long time, so you never know. You never know with goalkeepers, but I do think there is a possibility, but it depends on results, man. This is why after this international break, I actually look forward, like, what are we gonna do here? Because if stuff starts turning around, by definition, the good games this season we've had, barring Frankfurt, he's played well in as well. So if his form does turn around, we'll see. And also we have to see how we look during AFCON. The funny part is I actually think we will win games during AFCON. Just like we did it in the first time with Mane and Salah gone, actually. I still think we will win games. I still think we will win, but that's because our system would change in a positive light. Isak, Ekitike up top together, the thing that you said, which I think will happen probably during AFCON.
We haven't, but can I?
Here's my question to you. Let me ask you this one.
I want to ask you before we move on. I want to ask you a question.
Go on.
Do you think Slot A knows his best team? B, has he had a chance to play his best team? 2-part question.
To be honest, I think he has had a chance to play his best team. In my opinion, the best team we put out on the football pitch was Atletico Madrid at home.
No Isak.
No, Isak was there. Atletico Madrid at home. We won 3-2. That for me was our best performance.
No,
7
no.
big chances
No, no, no.
created.
What is our best? Yeah, it was our best performance. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
what is our best team when everyone is fit and available?
For me, it's that Atletico team. That Atletico team is for me the best one. But here's my thing though with this thing, and this is where I do have to, like you said, we divide blame and everything. But this is where I do hold Slot accountable for it in terms of we haven't run that team back once though. That's the thing that upset me a little bit with Slot. Like why didn't we just run it back? I actually think Salah has played really well with Frimpong as well. Like he needs someone with pace overlapping him. I really like Frimpong.
But what was that team? So can someone put it in the chat?
I'll tell you the team: Allison, Frimpong, Van Dijk, Konate. I don't know if it's Kirkes or Robinson, one of them. It was Soboslai, Gravenberg, Wirtz in the 10, Salah on the right, Isak up top, and Gakpo on the left. That game, I still remember till now because I did so many discussions on it. We had 7 big chances created. Atletico had 1. Absolute dominant performance.
No. I'm not asking the performance. I'm asking if everyone is in form and fitness, you think that's the best Liverpool team?
I think that's the best Liverpool 11.
See, now, many would argue with you that because I made the points about if everyone is in their best form and fitness, McAllister is one of the first names on the sheet. But the problem, before you go, is McAllister is nowhere near the best form and fitness. Yeah. Many would say Ekitike starts ahead of Gakpo. Robertson,
you can do that. Yeah.
Robertson starts ahead of Gakpo. So the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think he's put his best team out yet. In what he thinks and in what the recruitment team and when they made these transfer signings, there was probably one team they all had in mind, like when everyone is fit and firing and with the recruitment that we've made, this is the best Liverpool side. I genuinely don't think we've put that out yet.
Okay, I'll ask you this, the final question, then we'll do supers and end. This is the question that I wanted to ask you. In terms of, like you said, you look at Liverpool's future post Salah and you think it's going to be Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak. My question when you said that was like, why do we link to Olise then? And Semenyo and like right wingers? Why do we link to them if that's the formation that we look at playing?
Because I think those said players are very, very first. I don't think we're going to get Olise personally, but Semenyo, if ever you saw a Sadio Mane region, is right there. Now, I think Semenyo is one of the most multifunctional forward players in Europe right now. You can't pin Semenyo to one position.
You can't.
You can't say Semenyo is
left wing, right wing. He uses both feet really well.
He can play through the middle with his eyes closed, I believe. I think he has the traits of playing through the middle as well. So you have to have attackers in your team. And that's my opinion, that I think a variation of that, what I said. So it's not going to be strictly, Isak and Ekitike through the center and Wirtz in a hole. No, a variation of that. So I absolutely understand the links to more attackers because we are one short. We know this. Not replacing Lucho directly or indirectly, because you can't say he's been replaced by Rio because Rio has played about 9 minutes.
He hasn't played.
Yeah. So you can't say he's been replaced by Rio. So that's why I think Semenyo, or being linked with attackers makes absolute sense. But obviously we want to be linked with other positions first and foremost.
Center back. Bring me 3 center backs right now. Bring me 3 center backs right now. I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. This is the final question, I promise. So, Slot tomorrow says, guys, I resign. Who would be the manager you'd bring in? Because this is the same thing we ask the Slot outers. What would it take for you to be Slot in? So, if he resigns tomorrow, who would be the guy that you go like, that's the guy I'd bring in?
Bloody hell, man. Wallahi, I haven't thought about it too much. And that shows you how delusional I am probably in Slot at the moment. At the moment, people call it delusion.
You haven't given a thought to any because did you see Lewis Steele's list?
Not deep thought. You hear lists and you read lists and whatever, blah, blah, blah. The areolas, the blah, blah, blah. But
have you seen the list that Lewis Steele put out?
I haven't given. He's forgotten one name, or he didn't know about one name, or he doesn't know about. He didn't mention one name. There's a huge name on that list that I know for a fact we spoke to. A huge name, and that name is Zinedine Zidane. That name is Zinedine Zidane. And let me tell you, whether you choose to believe or not, your chat, your people, whatever. Again, I don't give a damn. But Zidane wanted us, not we wanted Zidane. Zidane's people approached us and he said, if there's an opportunity, I would would be a pleasure to manage Liverpool Football Club. That's the scale of Liverpool Football Club we're talking about. But obviously, he wasn't of the profile that we're looking for, etc., etc. We know what route we took, but Zinedine Zidane was also, amongst the people that we spoke to. But
see, now compared to like Spalletti and Valverde and shit, now it's different. You tell me Zidane, I'm thinking.
Zidane approached us for a fact.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you tell me Zidane, I'm thinking a little bit. The others, I'll be honest, I'm not thinking at all.
I don't know who I'd have. Honestly, I don't have a strong enough an opinion to say, yeah. I don't know. The usual names amongst the world, man. I do like Nagelsmann, but, he's the manager of, I don't know, man. Inzaghi's gone to...
I don't like Inzaghi at all.
But he's gone to Saudi, whatever. I don't know if his style would appeal to us, But he's in that emotional Klopp type manager where he's you can visibly see him animated and excited on the touchline and with the crowd and everything else. I don't know, man. There's no standouts out there. Is there? Is there standouts out there? I don't know. People, what do you think, man? Everyone's talking about Areola, and we've previously talking about Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank's gone to Spurs. I wouldn't have been...
me personally, if Slot leaves tomorrow...
I wouldn't have been anti-Thomas Frank. I'll put it out there. I wouldn't have maybe been a big fan of his, but I'm different, man. I'm a fan of Marco Silva, for example. I'm a huge fan of Marco
that's fine. Silva. That's not a bad opinion. Marco Silva is a good manager.
People are saying Luis Enrique. Of course, this absolute standout.
Habibi, Enrique is not going to leave PSG, guys. Why do we always do this?
But this is my point.
Guys, I would take Pep Guardiola. I'll take Pep.
I genuinely believe he would leave PSG.
I don't.
My opinion. I think the Premier League and Liverpool...
Mid-season, you think he would? Mid-season?
No, mid-season.
See, that's my thing. Because I'm saying if Slot left tomorrow, we don't know if Enrique is available in the summer. He might be.
No, mid-season. But Luis Enrique, in my opinion, based on absolutely nothing but just opinion, is I think he would jump at the Liverpool job, jump at the Liverpool Football Club job.
Listen, I look. Enrique in the summer, I hear you. But Enrique mid-season, you call him right now, I doubt he
That's the level, and that's the levels we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Because Enrique, Zidane, etc. That's high-level manager.
That's the levels we're talking about Liverpool now. And I know we're going through absolute hell at the moment. But my God, we're going to be back sooner than people think, man.
Inshallah. We need to start winning games. Anyway, let me just grab these supers before we end the stream. Big up to everyone locked in. Don't want to keep Uncle Grizz for too long. Big up to all of you guys. 650 people in the building. Please get the likes up right now. Let's get to 300 likes ASAP. Subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Big up to Mantis, who says, you can be young, you can be inexperienced, but when the manager comes out and he says he doesn't have an answer for long ball, for me, that's unacceptable. Here's my thing, Mantis. What do you want Arne Slot to say publicly? Forget privately. What do you want him to say publicly? Like, oh, guys, we were shit today, by the way. The tactics were awful, blah, blah, blah. Guys, managers waffle in the media all the time. Bro, Klopp had a go at so many reporters. Like, why do we change it? Like, we act like Klopp sat there and went like, oh, guys, we were shit today. That's why we lost. How many times did Klopp make excuses? I think making excuses for a manager is completely normal, and every manager does it, including Pep, including Arteta, didn't Arteta blame the ball in the Carabao Cup just 5 months ago? Big up to my guy Castor, says, big up Nassim Talib. I love your book, The Black Swan. We have a great finance guy on stream. People, like and subscribe is what Castor is saying. Appreciate you, Castor, man. You get me? 2 top reds today. Very different than our conversation 2 years ago. Big up to my guy MT, who says, why can't Slot play 4-4-2 Salah up top on a free roll with Isaka or Ektika until AFCON? Yeah, that's what I wanted us to do away to Man City. That's what I wanted us to do away to Man City, to be honest. That's all I wanted.
That's that's one scenario where the future can still be with Salah.
Yeah, but make him striker, basically. Do the Ronaldo thing with Salah, put him striker. Yeah, it's a possibility, by the way.
But I don't see Salah like that. Me personally, I love him, and I know it's against your astaghfirullah. I was gonna say religion. I know it's against your code of conduct and life, but that's not Salah's position. Salah's position was the glorious winger that we saw right forward that revolutionized how the Premier League wide forwards are seen. That's Mohamed Salah. That's the legacy of Mohamed Salah.
Big up to Matt Gimme, who says, Grizz is being reactionary. This is a team that lost a friend. Even Salah said that this has affected him and his family. We need to chill. Thank you.
I don't know if was this before I explained that. I absolutely
that was before you said it. This was before you explained.
So I explained that.
Yeah, he said about.
I agree. I'm not reacting on just his performances. I'm taking into consideration everything and the trauma that he suffered more than anyone else.
Yeah. And finally, Aslan. Thank you so much, Aslan. Big up to everyone who supported us. Don't forget to check out OK Jersey. Use code Husam for 8% off. Big up to Aslan. Says, as a professional LFC hater, I'm laser focused on one thing only. How long Van Dijk has left at the top. Until then, you're good and everything else is noise. Well, to be honest with you guys, like, I think Van Dijk started off the season really well, but these last 3-4 performances, I think, have been just as bad as the rest of the team. But once again, I think we're asking Van Dijk to do stuff he's uncomfortable with. Like Real Madrid, when we were deep, Aston Villa, when we were controlled, Van Dijk looked incredible, you know? So that's why for me, look, I think a slot, couple of tweaks here and there, and all these players will look real good. Grizz, thank you for joining me. This was a fun show, fun little show. I promised you an hour, but we went 6 minutes. You get me now. There's extra time in football, 11 minutes. So you guys are gonna have to get you're gonna have to get used to it.
This is where we either score a winner or lose the game. So
yeah, there you go. We lost it against Chelsea and we beat Atletico with it.
Many. I think 5 of our games have been decided in the last time. It's crazy, but no, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it. It's been a bit. You got me thinking things as well and asking me questions and points that, you know, this is what happens when you talk on a normal, serious level as opposed to just, you know, with other wild panelists and other clubs, rival fans shouting and interrupting. And you can have a normal conversation and explain what you mean by what you think, as opposed to just writing something and everyone saying, oh, this is rubbish, this is delusional, this is... Explain it. And then if still someone doesn't like it, then hey, it is what it is. It's opinions. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on as well. Grizz Khan is in the description. Grizz Khan X is in the description. Go give him a subscribe. The link is... I might
start doing some content, man. I might start doing some content when the time and family allow it. I will. And gonna get you on as well. It's been a while since you've repaid me the favor. So inshallah.
Yeah, for sure. Inshallah.
But yeah, big up to your chat. Big up you.
Big up Sam and Gary. Big up to you guys, man.
No, but I am. I'm actually. I don't want to say proud like a uncle and nephew, whatever, but like a little brother. I'm proud of the effort and where you've come. And as I said, in the last 3 years, whatever, it's been magnificent.
Yeah,
and people evolve, people mature, and you're one of those people, I hope. And I always said to you, despite all the indifferences or people's perceptions of us, or what people try to instigate, or what the headlines is, you know, I always said to you, listen, all opinions are whatever and however, but you mature over life. And as I said, right now, I love what you're doing. Carry on.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Same here as well. Yeah, if you know, we'll say this publicly as well. Even if you want to have a show or something, let me know during this international break. As for us on this channel, guys, I'm not doing any content like Liverpool related, blah, blah, blah. I'm just doing Sweden watch along, inshallah, tomorrow, and then Italy watch along Sunday. We're taking it easy, step by step. I may be harsh, but big love. Listen, you weren't harsh because you didn't listen to Grizz say it yet. After you listened to Grizz, khalas, now, like, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you. Listen, big up to all of you guys. We're gonna send you guys over to TJ Warren. He's doing an Arsenal season review. Go tell him Husam read in his chat. Let's try to help out people in this community as much as possible. Love you all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Peace out.